Over the years, there's been a lot of JRPGs that have sort of slipped through the cracks. Some maybe, rightfully so, but some others deserved better. This video aims to highlight 8 of these lesser known titles. As the name implies, these games will all be turn-based, and they will all have official English releases. That means no Japan-only titles with fan translations. If you want to see some of those, check out our videos on 8 great JRPGs that never left Japan, Part 1 and Part 2. Also, last year we dropped a similar video on tactical RPGs specifically, so check that one out too. Alright, without further ado, here's an unranked list of 8 great, obscure, turn-based RPGs that you probably haven't played.
The light is your guide.
A dream is what keeps you going.
Now is the time to shape your story. Your fate is in your hands.
Before kicking things off, we have a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Persona 5 The Phantom X. Persona 5 The Phantom X is the latest game in the Persona franchise and the first mobile entry. In this adventure, we follow a new group of phantom thieves led by the protagonist, Wonder. Desires being taken from the world, and it's up to us to figure out why and bring it back. Turn-based combat, social links, after-school activities. Everything you know and love about this series is here. What's unique to this entry is the introduction of Phantom Idols. These are cognitive manifestations of other people that can support you in battle. This adds even more strategy to an already strategic system. Persona 5 The Phantom X is available to play for free right now on Steam, Google Play, and the Apple Store. What are you waiting for, my friends? Tokyo is ready to be explored. Something we did ourselves recently and we'll have a video out on soon. Thank you Atlas for sponsoring this video. And to start this list off, we have Cosmic Fantasy. Actually, both Cosmic Fantasy 1 and 2, considering this is the North American Cosmic Fantasy Collection. The developer behind these games was Lasersoft, a subsidiary of Telenet Japan. Cosmic Fantasy is a long-running series for the PC Engine where only the second game, yes the second, officially came out in English. Why the first one was skipped and the second one was localized, I have no idea. By the way, Working Designs did localize that initial English version too. With that said, this remastered collection does feature a new translation though. Oh yeah, it's only available on the Switch as well. In the first Cosmic Fantasy, we play as the Cosmic Hunter Yu and his Tanuki motorcycle-shaped companion, Monmo. They answer a distress signal from a nearby planet and then end up crash landing there to help them out. It's a very bare-bones plot, not gonna lie. I mean, the game came out in 1990, but the characters are really charming. I mean, just look at how great they look in these anime cutscenes. They encapsulate that 80s anime style perfectly. They even have voice acting too.
この状態では自力によるフライトは不可能です。
ユウ、オイラたちは意図的にこの農具に落とされたっち。
For 1990, this was really impressive. I will be completely honest though, the charm and the overall vibes are probably the only reasons to play this game. The battle system is as basic as it gets, it's grindy as hell, the translation is not great, and yeah, the game just has a lot of flaws. You really gotta love old school RPGs to resonate with this one. With that said, it makes for a pretty cozy game to play while listening to a podcast or watching a show on another screen or something. The sequel, Cosmic Fantasy 2, is kind of better. This one did actually come out in the West back in the day. Oof, look at that cover as well. If you zoom in from the girl to the cat, it looks like they don't even belong in the same picture. The story involves time traveling and saving a princess, and it's pretty engaging. Cutscenes are still phenomenal looking too. Gameplay, on the other hand, still is not. I mean seriously, I know I said it already, but it really is turn-based combat at its most basic form. You literally can't miss any of your attacks, same with enemies, there's no critical hits, and yeah, it's like number higher, you win. There is a Cosmic Fantasy 3 and 4 as well, so maybe I'll talk about those in the future. But yeah, very few people know about this series in the West, and I just think it deserves some more recognition. The next game we have on our list is Legaia 2 Duel Saga. Legaia 2 Duel Saga was developed by Procyon and came out for the PS2. I never liked this little border that the publisher Fresh Games put around the case. They did the same thing with Mr. Mosquito and Mad Maestro. Like, no other publisher did something like this. Why did you guys think you were cool enough to do this? Anyway, Legaia 2. This is an indirect sequel to Legend of Legaia on the PS1, and yeah, if I'm being completely honest, it's definitely not as good. The original is the first serious JRPG I ever played and one of my all-time favorites. Hell, it's even in our channel intro, so you know it's good. So why am I not talking about that one then? Well, the second one is just a lot more obscure. Everyone always talks about the original and never the follow-up, including myself. I don't think I've ever talked about it on the channel before, so yeah, perfect time to now. The main draw of Legaia 2 is definitely the gameplay. Fortunately, in this aspect, it does match the first. It kind of combines like combos in fighting games with turn-based combat. You combine left and right punches and kicks together to create combos, or as the game calls them, arts. As the game goes on, you'll be able to use bigger and bigger arts, and it's pretty cool. What's not that cool is the story, unfortunately. It's pretty basic, save the world and defeat the bad guy, and yeah, for PS2 standards, it's not great. Especially considering the first game had a really good story. The main scenario writer of the first game didn't even work on the second game, so yeah, it does make sense why it didn't capture that same magic. Apparently, he even got kicked off the development of Legaia 2 due to disagreement about the game's plot. Yeah, they did this dude dirty. Alright, last thing I'll say before moving on. The music is pretty damn good. Yasunori Mitsuda of Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross fame composed some of the tracks, and you can definitely tell. It's got that signature Mitsuda sound, it's so good. Overall, Legaia 2 may not be the greatest turn-based RPG, but it does have pretty fun gameplay and it is quite obscure. Coming up next, we have Jade Cocoon, Story of the Tamamayu. Jade Cocoon was developed by the company Genki and came out for the PS1. One thing instantly might stick out to you: the character design. Well, that's because it was done by Katsuya Kondo, one of the character designers for Studio Ghibli. That factor alone gives this game a very distinguishable feel. It's like a monster capturing and raising game as well, so yeah, it's like a really unique experience. The story has you playing as Levant, a young cocoon master trying to lift a curse from his village. I think the plot has really interesting lore, it's just not really told that well, I think. It's also only like 15 hours long, so it's kind of over before you know it. But that said, it is gorgeous to look at. These are some of the prettiest pre-rendered backgrounds on the entire console. Major Princess Mononoke vibes. As previously stated, there is a monster capturing mechanic in Jade Cocoon. You can also fuse them together and pass down abilities and appearances, and yeah, it's quite interesting. Battles are only one-on-one though, so nah. The sequel on the PS2 would expand upon this, however. It's arguably even more obscure as well. We already had a couple PS2 games on this list though, so maybe I'll talk about it in the future. Anyway, don't expect a masterpiece with Jade Cocoon. But if you want a unique, turn-based, monster-capturing RPG with a beautiful aesthetic, then this one is worth checking out.
The tune of a cocoon master is such an enchanting sound. You will be a cocoon master someday.
The next game we have on our list is Riviera: The Promised Land. Riviera was developed by the company Sting Entertainment and came out for multiple systems. The first of which being on the WonderSwan Color, but that version did not leave Japan. The next version on the GBA did, however. That's the version I'm going to be talking about today.
Riviera, the Promised Land.
There was also an enhanced remake for the PSP that later got ported to the Switch and the PC, but I never played that one and I had the GBA version growing up, so yeah, here we are. Riviera is a pretty interesting game though. The story loosely draws upon Norse mythology and has you playing as a grim angel named Ein as he tries to save the land of Riviera. There's even dating sim elements and a lot of multiple choices that affect how the game plays out along with the ending. So yeah, pretty unique so far. Now we got exploration. You don't control your character directly and instead it's more of a point and click style. In dungeons, how many actions you can take per room, like examining things or opening treasure chests, is based on how many points you have. You get these points by doing well in battle. Oh yeah, battles? These are quite different too. They are turn-based, yes, but kind of imagine like a weapon-breaking system from Breath of the Wild, just in turn-based form. Every attack uses a limited resource, so you have to find a balance between using your weaker weapons on weaker enemies and saving the stronger ones for the bosses. This will undoubtedly not click with everyone, but for some people, it will. The same thing can be said about the game as a whole, honestly. It's super unique and for a specific crowd. If that crowd is you, then Riviera is one to look into. And to start off the second half of this list, we have Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldine. Yup, this is the thumbnail game I'm sure many of you were wondering about. It was developed by the company Sunsoft and released for the Sega Saturn. It's actually a spin-off of the first two Albert Odyssey games, which never left Japan. Those ones came out for the Super Famicom and were more tactical RPGs. Legend of Eldine, however, is traditional turn-based. Maybe a little too traditional, though. Admittedly, gameplay is probably the weakest aspect about this game. Battles move slow, there's not that much strategy, and late game bosses have a little too much health. There is a 5-person battle party at least though, so that's pretty cool. The story has you playing as Pike, a dude with a magical talking sword trying to lift the curse on his adoptive harpy mother that turned her to stone. It turns into a save the world plot from there, but yeah, pretty basic stuff. With that said, the Working Designs translation does give it a lot of personality. Probably one of their more Working Designs-iest scripts. Where I think the game truly shines is the presentation and the music. Visually, it's like 2D perfected. The colors are so vibrant and the sprites have a lot of charm. But the music though? Dude, this shit is top tier. The world map themes are legit some of the best tracks I've ever heard in any JRPG. Just beautiful compositions. As an overall game, Albert Odyssey is not incredible if I'm being totally honest, but it's very simple and charming, and sometimes that's all you need. The next game we have on our list is Grandia Extreme. Grandia Extreme was developed by Game Arts and was released for the PS2. It's not a part of the mainline series actually, and instead is a spin-off. That was the right move I'd say, as while the feel of the series was captured well, the structure of the game is very different. It's more of a dungeon crawler with only one town in the game. Admittedly, this did turn me off the first time playing it as a kid because I was expecting something, not that. Revisiting it later though, I was like, okay, it's actually pretty fun. I mean, first of all, the dungeons are massive, so if you like dungeons, then, well, this game's probably for you. There are visible enemies too, so you don't have to worry about an absurdly high encounter rate. The battle system has gotta be the best thing about this game though. It takes the turn-based and real-time hybrid system from the first two games where you can cancel enemies' attacks and shit, and improves upon it even further. There's more magic and more combo attacks between characters, and yeah, it's just an incredibly fun time. Speaking of characters, we have our biggest playable cast in the series. There's different races and species and stuff, and you always have the freedom to pick and choose who you want in your party, and it's just cool. When it comes to their development though, there's not much here. Same with the story. This is not a game you play for a strong narrative. You play for the fun gameplay, and that's pretty much it. By the way though, the legendary Mark Hamill does voice one of the characters.
Silly boy. So wrapped up in your emotions, you lose sight of opportunity. Is whining your idea of maturity? You can't grasp the situation or make a decision, and you're constantly complaining. How pathetic.
For as prolific of a career as he's had, this has easily got to be one of his lesser known roles ever, so I just thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, Grandia Extreme, definitely the most obscure title in the series. Well, out of the North American entries at least. Maybe I'll talk about Parallel Trippers another time. Anyway, if you like the gameplay of the Grandia series and don't really care about the story, check this one out for sure.
This'll blow you away.
Coming up next, we have Crimson Gem Saga. Crimson Gem Saga was developed by the South Korean studio Ironos and was released for the PSP. I actually played this one upon release and thought it was a pretty fun little title. It doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything, but it does the basics pretty well. Likeable enough characters, a cool skill upgrade system, some weapon customization, combination attacks, and yeah, it's not a bad time. I really love how it shows the turn order on screen. Visible enemies on screen is a nice touch too. It is pretty grindy and difficult though, so if you want a light and breezy experience, this one may not be for you. The story has you playing as Killian, a recent graduate of Green Hill Academy, as he gets caught up in a quest searching for an ancient artifact, the Sapphire Crystal. Nah, I'm just kidding, it's the Crimson Gem, what the fuck did you expect? The overarching plot is fun, it's not bad, it's just pretty generic, but about par for the course for a game like this. With that said though, I did find the voice acting pretty solid.
Second place again? I'm sick of always being second best.
Technically this game is a sequel to Astonishia's story, but it has such little to do with that game that they just changed the name. That game also fucking sucks and has a 50% on Metacritic, so yeah, probably a wise move. Crimson Gem Saga was also supposed to have a sequel, but sadly it never came to fruition. Oh well, at least we got this one. It's not gonna blow you away, but if you want to play a pretty obscure turn-based RPG that not many people have heard of, you can certainly do a lot worse.
Reign of Fury!
And to finish off this list, we have Destiny of an Emperor. Destiny of an Emperor was developed by Capcom and released for the NES. Even though it's the oldest game on this list, it's definitely not the worst. I'd even go as far as to say it's one of the best RPGs on the system. Story-wise, it's based on the romance of the Three Kingdoms, one of the 4 great Chinese classical novels. It makes for a cool setting, for sure. Where the game really shines, though, is the gameplay. Overworld exploration is like your standard Dragon Quest stuff, but battles are not. You fight with 5 generals and a tactician in battle, and how you get these generals is really interesting. You see, most random encounters consist of preset generals that roam the land. After defeating them in battle, they can potentially join you under the right conditions. There's up to 150 playable characters, it's kind of nuts. It's almost like Pokemon but with Chinese generals, and if that sounds fucking cool, it's because, well, it is. But that said, most of these characters do not level up, making them only viable for a period of time. Some do though, and these are called Tigers, and yeah, you're gonna want to be Tiger Guy. Before wrapping this segment up, I want to give a shout out to the music as well. It's pretty catchy. Helps the vibe of the game, I think. But yeah, Destiny of an Emperor, not only one of the most obscure NES RPGs, but also one of the best. If you like old school RPGs and haven't played this one, definitely check it out. Alright, and that about wraps up this video. Thanks for watching everyone, we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please either consider hitting that like button, or subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. What are some other obscure, turn-based RPGs you think would be fitting for a list like this? Let us know in the comments below. Also, last year we put out a similar video over obscure tactical RPGs. So, if you want to see a video over obscure action RPGs next to round out the trilogy, let us know about that too. As always, just want to give a huge thank you to our Patreon supporters, and of course an extra special shout out to our top patrons, Chris Carnaccio, Derek Drost, Jesse Spencer, Jay Shaw Drums, Jump Rock, and Nathan Lowry. All of your generosity and support is very much appreciated. Other than that, thanks again for watching everyone, and hope you have an awesome day. This is Corbin from Gaming Productions. Until next time.